Hi, I'm Frederick Van Johnson, and in today's video, I'm going to be telling you how to create your own URL shortener. Well, first of all, what is a URL shortener and why do you want one? Well, there's a couple of reasons. First of all, shorter is better. If you've been on the web for any length of time, you know that some sites can generate these really long URLs. And if you want to share that, you got to copy and paste it. If you put in a URL, your mail program may insert a carriage return, which breaks it. And if you put it on Twitter, it's going to use up all your character count on there. So shorter is better. What URL shorteners do is you take a long URL, you plug it in and click a button and it spits out a really short, concise version of that. In some cases, you can even customize the random piece of it so that it's in English. It's really powerful, really cool. It's important for services like Twitter that restrict your character count to 140 characters, for example. Plus, like I was saying, it's just plain easier to remember. A really short URL is more apt for somebody to remember it and say, hey, go to so-and-so site rather than, hey, remember, go to 1234135B099/ all this crazy stuff. So it's just plain easy to remember. Secondly, you control the links and where they point. Here's an example. You go on the web, you find this really cool blog post that's talking about something that's pertinent to your readers of your blog or your Twitter followers. You shorten that and you send it out to all your Twitter followers, Facebook, all these people. And then suddenly you decide that that blog post is no longer suits you, or you don't like it anymore, or you found a better one. When you're using a URL shortener that you control, you can go into the back end and change that. So you can go in and say, you know what, I don't like site A anymore. I want to point this shortened URL to site B, right at the intersection. So you're like the traffic cop. Really powerful. Third, you get an amazing amount of insight into the traffic and analytics. So you'll know with a URL shortener in place, you'll know when people are hitting certain shortened URLs, where they're, what times of day, what days of the week, all this stuff, which you can then factor into your decision making on what kind of things you want to shorten or what kind of posts you're going to do, all that stuff. So powerful analytics. And then finally, you're going to be driving traffic to your site. So if you're using a public URL shortener, you're driving traffic to the Bitleys of the world. You're driving traffic over to them. You want to keep that traffic. It's yours, right? So if you shorten a URL with using your own URL shortener, it's basically going to be your domain name / whatever you determine. There, you're keeping the traffic on your site. So if people decide to strip off that end and go to the root domain, they're coming to your site and they're not going someplace else. So the one that I use, it's called PrettyLink, and there's a shortened URL. That's an affiliate link down there, mediabytes.com/pretty-link. And basically what it is, it's a WordPress plugin that installs, you plug in a target URL, it could be a long URL into it. You click a button and it shortens it. In this case, as you're looking at in this picture, it would be mediabytes.com/WUM3. Now, I could customize that and make it something really, readable if I wanted to, or I could just leave it generic like that. But the point is, I control it. It's coming to my site, and I know what's going on, right? And I can look at the analytics. I can see how many people clicked through. If it's affiliate link like this one is, I can see how many people actually clicked on my affiliate link and went through. So I can do that kind of reconciliation at the end of the month. Now, PrettyLink also has a pro version, which is the one I'm using on all my sites right now. What the pro version gives you is site-wide keyword and URL replacement. So I can go in and I can say any occurrence of Photoshop on my site, replace it with, say, an affiliate link over to Amazon. Or any number of phrases, I can control where they go. Now think about that for a second. I could be blogging for 10 years and have a gigantic site, and suddenly I decide I want to monetize it. I can now turn on certain keywords or phrases that will generate income, just like that. Secondly, public link creation. So, and someone comes to your site and they decide they find one of your articles is really cool and they want to shorten it, or some other URL from another site. You can enable them. You can put a little form on your site where people can plug in a long URL, click a button, it will shorten it, but your domain will be the root. So you, in effect, become Bitly, which is really powerful. And third, you can customize your base domain. So I've on my frederickvan.com website, I went in, I used hover.com, and I registered fvj.me, that domain. Now I plug that into PrettyLink. Now, whenever I shorten a URL on frederickvan.com, it becomes fvj.me/whatever, which is really short. I mean, that's 6 characters, right? And I control that. And then further, if someone says, hey, what's this fvj.me thing? And they strip off the shortened piece and just plug in fvj.me into their browser, it's going to redirect them to frederickvan.com. So really smart, really powerful. So really important stuff. So with that, I'm going to show you how it works. Okay, so now let's take a look real quick at how to install and use PrettyLink. So here I am in a fresh WordPress install here, brand new, and I'm going to install the software. So I've got it sitting on my desktop. All I need to do is go to Plugins over here on the left and move over to Add New. So now I'm going to go up to the top and select Upload. I'm going to choose the file that's on my desktop. Here it is, PrettyLink. Okay. And all I do is click Install Now. And done. Just that quickly, it's installed the plugin successfully. I'll click Activate Plugin. And just like that, if you notice down here, I now have PrettyLink showing up in my active plugins area. And also down here on the left, I have a new menu item called PrettyLink. Okay, so now how do I use this? So I'm going to go in, I'm going to shorten a URL for you really quickly. So I'm just going to go into PrettyLink now. Okay, so once I go in here, the first time I run it, I get this tutorial on how to shrink URLs, which is really awesome. I already know how to do that. Plus, after this video, you'll know how to do that. So we just go to add a PrettyLink. So I'm going to open a new tab, and I'm going to go to, let's say, thisweekinphoto.com. And I'm going to click on this article. Okay, so here's an article that I want to share with people right there, right? So I'm going to go to my location bar, copy that, right? So I copy that. Now I'm going to go back. I'm going to close that out. I'm going to go back into PrettyLink and paste that right there. Boom. There's that long URL. Now, I could have just sent this URL, of course, but once I shorten this, it's going to shorten it down to this shortened URL right here. Now, I'm just going to click Create, right? All I did was paste it in. I didn't do anything else. Like, I could customize this right here if I wanted to. I could put a title and a description so I could remember it, but I want to show you what happens if you just click Create. Boom. So I click Create, and it's filled in everything for me. So now there's the title of that post, how many hits my PrettyLink has received, both unique and otherwise. I can group these so I can track them by saying, okay, here are all my affiliate links, or here are all my links to different friends. I could do whatever I want. When I created it, and then boom, over here, here's my PrettyLink. So I can select that and copy it. And then, you know, let's just test it real quick. I always test these after I make them. So we click that, we paste that into the URL field just to make sure it works, and boom, it's working just like that. Okay, so we'll close that up, and let's reload this page. Let's see if this is showing that I actually got a hit on that. Okay, let's actually go back to PrettyLink, and boom, look at that. I got a hit, and that one hit was me. So that's how quick that is, and that's how powerful that is. So definitely check that out. So let me just run through some of the power in PrettyLink here. So we just added a link. Now, I mentioned before, you could also add a group. So why would you want to add a group? Like I was saying, if you want to group all your affiliate links together and all your links that go over to a certain blog together, you can just organize them that way. It's not necessary. It's just an organizational feature. You can click on hits, and you can see where all your traffic's coming from. Here's that one hit that I just made, right? But once you get a lot of traffic in here, you can see day by day your traffic happening over a span of time, and where it's coming from, who the referrer is, all that stuff. It's really, really powerful. And then under tools, this is where you can customize your browser. So actually in this browser, I have this PrettyLink in my menu bar. So you can just take that take this get pretty link text and drag it up to your menu bar. And when you're on a site that you want to shorten, you just click that and it will give you the shortened version of that URL that you can then paste. And that happens on, you don't have to be on your site. You can do that from any site that you happen to be browsing on, as long as you're in a browser that you have installed this in the menu bar. And then options is where you can go in and set up your defaults, on tracking links. Are these going to be temporary, permanent, all sorts of things like that. You have it's a crazy amount of control in here. I can't go through all of it in this video, but you can definitely dive in and check it out. You can see how easy and intuitive it is. I'm demoing this in like 6 minutes. And then under Pretty Link Pro, if you had installed Pretty Link Pro, all those options that I talked about with the URL replacement and that sort of magic, all that happens in here. And to get that, you have to go over to prettylink.com or prettylinkpro.com or mediabytes.com/pretty-link and then purchase the developer or the developer edition, and that will give you the power to do all this cool stuff. So anyway, that was a quick review of Pretty Link Pro. Again, if you want to check it out, just head over to mediabytes.com/pretty-link and you'll see what it's all about. Thanks for listening.